I'm LISAEVERS, and this is Street Soldiers.
Fox 5 and Hot 97 present Street Soldiers with LISAEVERS.
Hip-hop culture has blazed many trails, and now the latest journey is all about health, and some of the biggest names are leading the way. Hip-hop superstar Fat Joe once weighed more than 400 pounds, but after dropping more than 200 pounds, he's looking super slim on Instagram. He tells me for him, it's a way of life.
It's more about health than just looks and vanity, you know what I'm saying? It's all about the inside and making sure I'm healthy, because health is wealth.
We participated in a Dr. Oz Hip-Hop Health Summit with Juices for Life owners JADAKISS and Styles P and shared a toast to health. Styles is vegan and on a mission.
And as long as you have people that are really cool saying it is the coolest, smartest thing you could do, it's just going to grow and grow and grow.
Trying to educate one person at a time is the overall main goal.
Dr. Oz, what do you think about so many hip-hop artists now taking a strong interest in health?
I think it's emblematic of what hip-hop's always been about, which is telling the truth. So if you talk about poetry in the streets and what really makes a difference in people's lives, you want it authentic and honest and raw, you talk about hip-hop, why not talk about something that's actually taken a lot of lives, which is the obesity epidemic.
Popular stars like DJ Khaled are using their celebrity platform to highlight their own battle of the bulge and could raise awareness, says media commentator Josh McBride.
Hip-hop artists have forever been influencers themselves. Artists like DJ Khaled have slimmed down. Fat Joe has slimmed down. DJ Khaled is now a spokesperson for Weight Watchers. We can take these as examples and utilize them ourselves if we are overweight or struggling.
Master fitness trainer Clem Lawson says you don't have to belong to a gym to exercise, and proved it to me in the hallway outside our Street Soldiers studio.
Squat and then come up, calf raise.
Okay.
Squat again, calf raise.
Okay.
This exercise right here gets a chance to hit your quads, your hamstrings really good, as well as your glutes, because you're going to squeeze at the top.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
You got to push yourself away from the table, stop eating. That's going to be your best slimming exercise.
There's a lot more to this. Let's find out what our panel has to say. Joining me is Josh McBride. He's an entertainment host and media commentator. Josh, great to have you with us.
Good to be here.
Thank you so much. Also with us is Styles P. You know him as the hip-hop artist from The Locks. He's also the co-founder and co-owner of Juices for Life. They're in the Bronx, Brooklyn, and Yonkers, and also another business, Pharmacy for Life. Styles, great to have you with us.
Thanks. Glad to be here, sis.
Thank you so much. Also joining us is Plemmy Lawson. He's Fit King Plem. That's what he's known as because of his fitness work with many celebrities, artists, and just private individuals trying to get fit. He's also a certified fitness trainer and educator. Plemmy, great to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Styles, when you look at this whole revolution in hip-hop, is this just a fad because people don't want to look fat on social media?
No, not at all. I look at it as a revolution and an evolution at the same time. I think people are becoming more aware of what they put in their bodies as just as much as what they put on their bodies. Because if you think about it, like we tell people, most likely you know everything that's on your body, where you got it from, your sneakers, your socks, your pants. You buy the best things you could afford to your ability, even with your car. Like you don't go past a BS gas station and go, yeah, I'm gonna get that and put crappy oil. No, so you put the best. So people haven't been doing that with the inside of their bodies for years, and I think they kind of understanding the effects, the negative effects, how many stars people we have lost, how many regular citizens and family members we lose, how people just as you get older and you grow, it's just more ailments. Like, you know, so I think people are being aware of what's going on, and especially the millennials. Like they take heed to what's happening with the food more so than anything. So I think I don't think it's gonna go down. I think it's gonna keep rising. I think that's a change that's will be part of people's lifestyle. Because I think it's an understanding, especially in poor communities. Like, you know, most poor communities, people don't go to the doctor often, right, or have health insurance. So preventative stages and ways are the best way for you to go about reassuring yourself that you're doing the best thing for yourself.
Josh, what do you think as you look around the entertainment world? Because a lot of hip-hop artists, we see Fat Joe slimming down, Styles that happened many years ago, but you know, leading the way with that. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, even DJ Khaled, right? So he's now a spokesperson for Weight Watchers, and he's lost, I think he said, 40 pounds, maybe 50 pounds so far, and said that he's still on the way of going, trying to lose more. So it used to be everybody made fun of the women, right? And social media has made it so easy to just make fun of or throw hate or post something on somebody's YouTube or Facebook or Instagram saying you're fat, you're overweight, you're ugly. It's bullying, right? It's a part of bullying. Social media has really made it so easy for the entertainment industry to be so vulnerable because it's so easy to comment now.
People can see right away, or they'll snap a picture when you're just out and about like that.
And we all have bad angles, right? Like if somebody takes a bad, like, you know, and it can go on from there.
And it goes on from there. Plummy, what about this whole awareness with men, and especially with the men in hip hop? Because women, we've always had to worry about what do we look like, what people are going to say, our fitness and health, and just, you know, our being much more in touch with our bodies naturally, being females. But
well,
what do you think about guys?
Think that there is a factor because of the transparency of social media, because of the fact that we all have smartphones. It's the information age. We all have access to information that perhaps was hidden in books before. Now you can Google almost anything. So I don't have to go to a specialist. I don't have to go to a specific person to give me information about, is that a good thing for me to eat? I don't have to just see a dietitian. I can literally Google things on my phone. So with information powered with the transparency of looking at other people on social media nonstop, you know, some of us have become more self-conscious of how we look. And then we have the information, and pairing the two together, we say, well, I want to look like this. How do I get to it? So the roadmap is, let me, you know, make sure my nutrition is correct, and then let me do the exercising that I need to do.
Styles, what about the availability of food? And that was one of your points with the whole Juices for Life,
yeah,
you know, trying to get started. Because you go in a lot of our urban areas, inner city areas around the country, and it's fast food, it's chicken, it's Chinese food, and then it's the deli or corner store with like fried chips and.
Yeah, it's like the lack of food and the lack of education of the food you're putting in your system. So it was like before I actually got to make money and move out of my neighborhood and moved into a richer neighborhood and really got to see, all right, natural markets and Whole Foods. And it was like, it hit me like a brick of just like, wow, there's a whole form of education to eat right and survive. But when you're in the hood, you don't see that. Like, you know what I mean? You see everything is fast food, liquor stores,
it's cheaper
and like, yeah, when you go to like, yeah, you go to like, you go to, and people have programmed themselves to think the most important thing is taking care of your body. That it's cool to just spend cheap or not willing to spend. Like, we buy Jordans, we buy jewelry, we buy Rolexes, cars, we party, but we be like, the food's expensive. Because you can't go to Whole Foods with a few $100s and you're gonna leave out, you could carry that. You can spend 500.
That's one bag.
You can spend 500 in Whole Foods and carry it out. But when you're in the hood, you spend 500 in the hood. You used to whole family got to come help with the bags because you bought mad bull crap. But then when you think about it in short terms, like I say like this, you have to go in your cabinets, your fridge, and start looking at the ingredients. Can you pronounce it? Can you spell it? Do you know what it is?
Right.
What is it for? Like this, like, you know, it's a lot of times, like, it hit me one day, I picked up a juice, and it was years ago, and it was like 17% juice, and I was like, wait a minute, what's the rest of the stuff? But I've never thought like that. So we have to reprogram ourselves to say we have to educate ourselves on what we're doing with our bodies, and then once you start doing that, you start understanding, all right, this food is not around here. We have to travel a little to get it, or go to the supermarket, look in this section. Sometimes you got to skip the fast food store and go in the supermarket, get your avocado, cut it up, get you an apple, get a banana, get some kale, get some seeds, get some real foods. But we're not programmed like that because we thinking fast food. But think, how real good is that if it's fast food? Like, you know what I mean?
Right. And your point about the clothing and the styles and the
you spend money on everything else.
And would travel to go get a certain sneaker or whatever, and then
and wait online.
Right. And wait online. Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So you have to. It's like, I think it's about the reprogramming, because in our neighborhood we wasn't taught to take care of the temple like this. Like, there's they didn't invest this in our school lessons, and they didn't put the right stores around, and it wasn't on the teachers program, or like, you know what I mean? So these things are things you have to do, because reality at the end of the day too, not to be funny, coming from my neighborhood, originally it started as, all right, poor people. I'm from New York, so I know what's happening in New York and cities around me. But when you start thinking about it on a bigger scale, it becomes bigger than just a brown thing. It becomes a human thing, because I don't live in Ohio and Oklahoma. That's mainly white states.
And there's low-income white communities.
But there's low-income white communities, and them kids are not eating right. They sending them to school eating the same thing. So yeah, so obesity taking, so
it's a human
issue. It becomes a being thing. You definitely know we're targeted because we're brown and we're first on the list, which is natural. But so are white people, and there's a lot of white people that don't understand that white people are targeted too. So this is a kind of a human thing, and like I think we just have to take care of one of each other, and like you say, like, don't work out because what people are saying about you on social media. Work out to feel good.
To feel good.
Eat right to feel good, and then that'll work.
All right, we got to take a short break. This is Street Soldiers. I'm your host, LISAEVERS. We'll be right back.
I think a lot of us, especially from poor neighborhoods, don't understand the things we put in our body contribute to sometimes us getting into felonies, getting into trouble, getting into fights, being angry, overweight.
When you look at some of these artists, we've seen some artists and people that we've known in the hip-hop community pass away in their 40s from things that were weight-related or diabetes and heart conditions that were tied to weight problems. Are these things preventable?
Absolutely. I remember coming up just as a hip-hop fan and remembering when one of the Fat Boys died, Human Beatbox died. I remember Heavy D. I remember, Guru. Certain rappers, these were preventable deaths, and largely it were due to heart disease or, if there was some type of alcohol or drugs involved. So these were things that were within our control, and then, unfortunately they lost their lives. And it was publicized, and, people talked about it for a short amount of time, and then they probably went back to what they were doing before then. I think now hip-hop is maturing more. I think as we're getting older and we want to increase our lifespan, I think that we're now seeing that that's not the way to go. We're not going to applaud being obese. We're not going to applaud eating bad things because it looks cool.
Josh, what about in terms of the Hollywood? That hip hop has become so much about Hollywood too. Do you think that appearance pressure is part of this whole revolution, as well as kind of like the wake up call, like, hey, who wants to die in their 40s?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, we talked about a little bit about social media and what that's taken. 15 years ago, 20 years ago, even 10 years ago, it was okay to be overweight. And we talk about bullying. We talk about people saying stuff. You are overweight. You're fat. You didn't hear about it then. It was Fat Joe was Fat Joe, and it wasn't. You didn't question it twice. You didn't say, well, why is Fat Joe fat, or why is he called Fat Joe? It was just he was Fat Joe. And we've gotten to this point of people learning and people realizing that this isn't good for not only just appearance, maybe for themselves, but a deep-rooted issue of their health. But then I keep coming back to social media of people probably telling Fat Joe, who probably doesn't give whatever.
Well, now he's lost more than 200 pounds.
Right. But now I'm sure people did say stuff. I'm sure people did say. To men and women, lots of women we know, but now men, which we've been talking about, how they have to lose weight, how it's unhealthy, how it doesn't look good, how you're on a carpet and it doesn't show well. Maybe it's from an appearance perspective, but I like that we're kind of focused on the health perspective.
And people are seeing more. Styles P, when Big Pun, may rest in peace, when he passed away, he was over 700 pounds.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, that was a long time ago, 2000. And, people looked at that and they were like going, of course, that amount of weight is going to really harm you. And then Joe has said many times, that was kind of his wake-up call. Yeah. And sometimes you need that wake-up call again. You hit the snooze alarm and you got to go back and get it again. But in terms of artists and the culture itself, what do you think about what's going on with the culture? Because we still have big artists. I mean, although some are like Rick Ross slimming down, and
I think it just really starts with the artist kind of understanding. With me personally, this is what I feel. It really starts with you as an artist just being a human being and kind of understanding you have to take care of yourself. And if it's on your mind, you have a duty to spread the word of good to people. Because honestly, as an artist, it's a braggadocious sport. Like, I really like nice things. I love nice things. But people don't get reminded of regular life throughout music, because the average guy can't go to the store and buy a Bentley.
And it looks very
a
glamorous
Benz,
now,
a
especially
Rolex. you listen to rap, you have people listening to rap, and now they live on social media. Now they're trying to live a life that they may not be able to attain. So the best way to attain things is to take care of your temple, eat right, know what you're putting in your body, exercise, surround yourself with good energy, and kind of focusing on that, because it's your responsibility to take care of yourself.
Styles, you talk about leading by example, and especially for men, and especially for men coming from low-income urban areas. How important is that to you about what you're doing with this whole juices thing and this movement?
I mean, I think it's important because I think a lot of us, especially from poor neighborhoods, don't understand the things we put in our body contribute to sometimes us getting in felonies, getting into trouble, getting in fights, being angry, overweight, sinus issues. A lot of this has to do with somewhat with the food we're putting in our body. So I think when you lead by example and people see a change in you, that sparks them to say, oh, it can happen. And when you, especially when you say, all right, we're going to do this because I know it's good for me and it's good for my family, and I want to pass it to you because it'll be good for you and your family. I think people take that a certain way, and they take it to heart, and they kind of understand that you're on a mission, because to be honest, the easiest way to kill the masses is miseducation, food, and water. So that's what we say to the families who have the whole obese family, and it's the way of life, and your whole rest of your family's eating a certain way. Sometimes you have to be the spark. Sometimes you have to be the one to say, all right, I'm gonna make the change. I'm gonna show them the difference in the lifestyle, the energy, how to feel, how I look, and they'll see, and they'll want to be part of it.
And what was that turning point for you? Because I remember one time you were on streets, you came to Street Soldiers, and you were just a regular size we knew you from. And then the next time you came, you were like super slim down, and you're like, Lisa, I changed everything. But what was that spark that made you go down this route and stay with it?
Well, when I went to jail as a rapper, I knew something was wrong because I was too smart to keep getting in certain situations and let my temper and my ego and pride get the best of me. So I felt like it was some sort of chemical imbalance within myself. So I said, let me change up what I'm eating and how I'm eating, duck the grease, duck certain things. And that was pretty much the spark and turnaround for me, because it's like, I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to die. I don't want to keep missing my family, and I don't want to be not the best me I could be, because at the time, too, when I was 238 pounds, 240 pounds, I had eczema, post-nasal drip, sinusitis, a crap load of issues, and just the eating kind of
cleared up
me out.
And
then more so spiritually, it helped me. Like, you know what I mean? It helped me just be a better person. I feel calmer, take things easier, just better to get along with, and better energy, period.
Plummy, what about the food? Does food really affect your mood like that?
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure we've all been in situations where if you eat something, especially fried food, next thing you know, your stomach is hurting. You know, you're walking around kind of angry, irritable. It leads to things like constipation. It leads to, heartburn and acid reflux. All of these things oftentimes affects us negatively. And, we may have that, we wear that body language, that energy, because oftentimes it's from something we ate or drank. So I definitely think it affects it.
Thank you all very much for being with us for this episode of Street Soldiers. Josh McBride, great to have you with us.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you so much. Styles P, great to have you again.
Thanks
for always coming back and coming through Street
Always.
Soldiers. And Plummy Lawson, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me
We
again.
really appreciate it. And thank you for joining us for this episode of Street Soldiers. I'm your host, LISAEVERS. Remember, use your mind as your best weapon. I hope it's your only weapon. Let's push for peace.